In today's video, we're going to be interpreting piecewise functions. And what a piecewise function is a function that looks kind of awkward and has different shapes and different segments. And if you look at this first example, there's four different parts, four different pieces of this piecewise function. You have this part right here, you have another part right here, this curve, and then this curve. So it's not always going to be straight lines. It could have curved lines, but they're always going to be a function because it passes the vertical line test. No matter where you draw a vertical line, it's always going to intersect one point. So this is what's called a piecewise function. Now, describing these, you have to look based on the horizontal axis. So we're going to describe the function between x is negative 9 and x is negative 3. So here's where x equals negative 9, and here's where x equals negative 3. So if we look up towards our piecewise function, that's this portion right here that I'm going to highlight in green. That's going to be between negative 9 and negative 3. So if I look at it, if I read a graph from left to right, I always read my graphs from left to right, it's increasing and it is linear because it's a straight line. So it's increasing and linear. Okay, the next portion. Negative 3 and 1. So negative 3 starts up here, right? And positive 1 goes all the way down here. So this portion right here is going to be represented by this segment, this piece. So this is decreasing. It's going down from left to right. And also linear. It's a straight line. 1 and 5, right? Here's where x equals 1 in the piecewise function. X equals 5, that's right here in the piecewise function. So it's, again, going down from left to right and nonlinear. Decreasing. Nonlinear. And then the last portion right here, this is 5 and 9. So from 5 to 9, it's increasing. And maybe I should have done this in purple. There we go. So this one will be increasing. And again, nonlinear. All right. Let's take a look at another example right here. Okay. I'm going to come up with a segment. All right. So another way to represent these segments is, besides just say between x is negative 9 and x is negative 3, you could also use what's called interval notation, which you'll recognize has some less than symbols. All right. So this piece right here, we're going to define that as this blue line right here. We're going to define this as, another way to say it is x is less than negative 9 and all the way to negative 5. So negative 9 less than x less than negative 5. That's the interval. That's basically saying the same thing as the piece between x is negative 9 and x is negative 5. This piece right here is between negative 5 and, what is this, 2? Negative 2. Negative 2. So that piece is between negative 5 and negative 2. This piece right here is between negative 2 and 3. And then this last piece right here is between 3 and 9. So there are four different pieces on this piecewise function. You have -9 to -5, -5 to -2, -2 to 3, and 3 to 9. So those are four different pieces to this function. All right, now we're going to describe them. All right, for this part right here, the blue one, this is increasing and linear. So I'm just going to color coordinate it. So increasing and linear. Right. This part in here is also increasing, but it is nonlinear. All right. So I'll call this piece 1. This one I'll call piece 2. So piece 2 is increasing and nonlinear. The third piece right here, right, is decreasing down from left to right and linear. And the last piece, the fourth piece, is decreasing and nonlinear. All right. So that's how you interpret piecewise functions. You read a graph always from left to right. A linear function is going to be straight, and a nonlinear function is going to be curved. Now, also, you can define it two different ways. You can say x is between -9 and -5. You could say it this way, or you could say it with the equal signs like we did in this one. X is between -9 or this one was -3. So there's two different ways that it could look like. You could have it look like this, or you could have it look like what's just called interval notation, where you have the less than signs in between. All right. So that's it for today's lesson. Thank you for watching, and always remember, whether you're solving for X or Y, always give math a try.